Wrestle Kingdom 20 tickets went on sale this week, and if you want any idea of how Tanahashi's retirement is going to play to the audience, they sold more than 20,000 tickets on their first day for Wrestle Kingdom. To put that into context, last year's Wrestle Kingdom drew 24,107 people. So they are already like within shooting distance of last year's entire attendance just after the first day of ticket sales, where all we know is it will be Tanahashi's retirement and Aaron Wolf will make his debut. And you know, this company, they are hungry for a new star, and they are hungry like a wolf for it to be Aaron. Now, my question to you, Wei, number one, does this surprise you at all that it's gotten off to such a big start? Did you think like Tanahashi's retirement would be that kind of event that would be such it would be a big mover here?
I think I always expected it to be big, but maybe not 20,000 immediately type of big. You know, clearly this is maybe a lot more interest than I even anticipated. There is, for me, at least a level of disconnect between how I think our audiences might be perceiving something versus how a Japanese audience might be perceiving something. And over there, I imagine it to be maybe as big, if not bigger, than how we might think of a John Cena retirement. So 20,000, I mean, immediately, what do you think this thing will close at?
I mean, you have to look at the fact that like without a card, I think you have to look at like 30,000 being like a target. Like I think this is going to be one of the best Wrestle Kingdom showings in years. Since like the double shows that they were
get to 40.
It's hard to say. I mean,
I would almost say 30,000 is guaranteed at this point, don't you think? You know, when you're so far out without any matches, you're already at 20.
I think the big factor is going to be not so much the rest of the card. It's going to be Tanahashi's opponent and what that spark is. And I want to throw out these options to you, and you tell me what you think of these potential. Now, I'm going to start at the bottom, okay? Maybe like in case of emergency, we have nobody. Evil.
Well, okay, so Tanahashi has said this will come full circle. And what sort of circle would Evil?
I mean, he faced Evil last year. I mean, wouldn't that be full circle?
They had a circle. That's more of like a rhombus, I would say.
Okay.
I hate that idea, but okay. That would be a great tease just to disappoint people so that whoever they have actually wrestling the match will be an improvement. Yeah.
Evil comes out and it turns out that was the exhibition. It's not the actual match. Well, let's go with if it's full circle. Do we go back to his debut match against Togi Makabe?
Yeah. Unfortunately, another disappointment. Even though Makabe is active, is he not?
Yes. They technically could do this match. I don't know if
didn't he have the match already? I think he had the match already.
They did do their match already this year, so I don't see if you're looking at that. Kenny Omega.
I think probably the best match he could possibly have, you know, for a final opponent at Wrestle Kingdom. Does that constitute a full circle type of thing? I don't necessarily know if thematically it would, but it would certainly make for the most interesting match, and I think of appeal to international audiences as well. But I don't think so.
One that probably seems very obvious to many people is one more Okada match. Like, would you argue that's his most famous rival at this point in his career?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
It's a match you could do, and I mean, it gets a little tricky, I think, like if this guy is still your unified champion at this point. I think like Tanahashi is losing this match. I mean, that would be a given if it's Okada. But I think if it's the title, I think that's just more confirmation of it that I don't know.
Can Okada drop the title to Kashida?
That's possible. He could lose it before then. I think if you have without a title, I still feel Okada is winning this. I think Tanahashi, just about anyone he's facing, unless it was Togi Makabe, I think he's probably losing this match.
So Continental Classic is typically what? December.
Yeah. It would end at like World's End, which would be days before this.
So it doesn't
which is tricky. Like if you're like you have to announce this match before the Continental Classic, or at least during the Continental Classic.
Right. So it doesn't have to be Takeshita that Okada loses it to. He could lose it to somebody else. And I feel at this point, it might be time for him to lose that championship anyway. At the end of the C2, to somebody else, that kind of leaves him open to have this match that he doesn't necessarily have to win. against Tanahashi, even though I think that would likely be the outcome. Yeah. So any other options you want to throw out?
Nakamura.
So I think in terms of like nostalgia, like in terms of just like a holy shit moment, yeah, that would be wonderful. But getting the blessings from the WWE for a company that co-promotes with AEW, I think is very difficult. I don't think
that's the obvious hurdle.
Yeah.
But it's not the hurdle that it was years ago. I even with the AEW connection, I don't completely disqualify this as an option.
It'll also be a card that'll likely feature AEW talent. And again, okay, if we're talking about a blood sport, maybe that, you could have your WWE NXT talents like show up on a show that, I don't know, at one point, like a Marina Shafir may have also shown up. But I think the stakes are a lot bigger when it's like a main event. I just don't really see it. It's very possible. And I think it would speak a lot about the WWE to allow Nakamura to have that one.
I mean, here's your guy that goes over there in front of 30, 35,000 people. It's a big spectacle. Nakamura probably wins this match, and then he comes back to you guys. It's not like he's making someone. It's not like Tanahashi is going to benefit from this and draw for New Japan after. Because I'm going to look at this Wrestle Kingdom show, and I think on that day, that show is going to feel so important and so big. But I think it's really on New Japan to try and do as much as they can on this show and at New Year Dash to grab that audience, because I don't think this is going to be a case where this is going to create a new wave of fans. I think it's a lot like the Muto show. It's like everyone's going to come for this retirement, and I don't think that's going to lead to New Japan getting this bump as a result of this, because
it depends on what the undercard is and who they feature in that co-headliner.
Depends how great Aaron Wolf looks. That's their hope.
Yeah, no, I mean, you kid, but okay. Like,
I'm more interested in his opponent for this debut.
Sure, but like whatever your co-headliner is, whatever like somebody like a Yota Tsuji might be doing. I mean, obviously New Japan's goal, Tanahashi's goal, is to use his exposure of his retirement match to try to give the spotlight to somebody else, at least on the undercard. And would WWE want to help facilitate that by using one of their top guys? I just find it tricky. What about Katsuyori Shibata?
I wouldn't put him above, like, if Okada and Omega were real options, I think they're much stronger than Shibata. You could do Shibata, and obviously if you're talking about something full circle, like you are looking at like Shibata, obviously. But the same can be said with like Nakamura as well.
So both of them, both Nakamura and Shibata, are unlikely for two different reasons. Nakamura because of the WWE connection, Shibata because he famously double crossed that company. And I wonder if there's even any sort of like issue with him getting insured or something like that, being able to perform in New Japan. I wonder. I don't know. That one almost seems like even more unlikely than Nakamura, to be honest with you. But
I also just don't think it has the impact of like Omega and Tanahashi. They headlined the Tokyo Dome together, as has Okada. I like Shibata. To me, is just one that I don't know. I like it. To me, it would not be the first choice. To me, that would be others fall out, and yeah, it would take a big overhaul of New Japan's sort of philosophy towards Katsuyori Shibata.
I think Okada might be most likely. I think he's the one that he's Tanahashi's greatest rival. He's a partner. He did not double cross the company, and he hasn't been back in New Japan since he left. And
what about his second pro match that occurred 6 days after the Makabe match, and we get Wataru Inoue?
Is he available? I don't know. Maybe there are. Maybe WWE is.
He's only 52. It's always possible here.
Sure.
So there you go. Those are some of your options. This month on the Post Wrestling Cafe, John and Wei go to the movies with a review of The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, based on the documentary around Mark Kerr. Plus, it's Rewind Away covering the 2017 documentary Nobody Speak, Trials of the Free Press. Also coming your way is reviews of Bound for Glory, King of Pro Wrestling, weekly editions of Collision Course, Post Pro Res with Karen Peterson and WH Park, and the XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, ad-free here at postwrestlingcafe.com.